Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you 5 fantasy books that are very easy for beginners. So without any further ado, let's get into today's video. The first book that I'm recommending is the first book in a series, and it is the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book, which is City of Bones. In this series, we have a group of people, angelic human beings called shadow hunters, and the main work of the shadow hunters is to kill shadow demons and demons in general. And this is an urban fantasy series, so it is not like totally fantasy. It is not a new world in an entire way. We have the actual world in which we live in, but along with that, parallelly, we have the happenings going on in this other world called the shadow hunters world. And it is so fun to read. If you're a person who likes reading a lot of romance, then it'll be easier for you to get into this one, because it has equal amounts of romance as well as fantasy, so you'll not feel like it's totally a different ground. It is simple to read. It is a huge series, so you'll be having a lot more to get through if you end up liking this one, and I'm sure that you will like this once you end up reading this. Next book that I'm recommending is the first book in the Inheritance Cycle series, and it is Eragon by Christopher Paolini. Now, in this book, we have this small boy named Eragon, and once when he's venturing through the forest, he finds this huge blue stone that is shiny and looks very beautiful. He just takes the stone, thinking that it will be worth a fortune for him, so that he can sell it to some person and make money out of it in order to live a life for a brief period of time. But what happens is that the stone turns out to be a dragon egg, and out of this blue beautiful dragon egg comes out a beautiful blue female dragon called Saphira, and Eragon starts raising Saphira as a child, and the bond between Saphira, the female dragon, and Eragon, the boy, is so beautiful. He becomes the rider of the dragon, and he starts riding Saphira. While all these things happen, there's also this huge thing going on with the kingdom that is present within this universe, and Eragon and Saphira are swept into the politics of this kingdom, and in order to bring down the antagonist of the story, they have to go on this incredible quest along with elves and many other mythical creatures, which is so fun to read about. If you're looking for a nostalgic read, then you have to read The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. The next book that I'm recommending is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Now, this is the first book in the Caraval trilogy written by the same author. The next two books in the series are Legendary and Finale, which are all out now. So if you want, you can read the whole trilogy. But I've read only the first book, and I've not read the next two books in the series. So I'm going to speak about Caraval alone. Now, in this book, we have these two sisters named Scarlet and Tella. And of these two, Scarlet is the elder one and Tella is the younger one. Scarlet is, she's to be married to a person whom she has not even seen, and their father is so strict. He physically abuses both the daughters by beating them. Nothing sexual in any way. He just beats them, which in itself is an abuse. And Scarlet has this huge yearning to go and watch Caraval, which is kind of a carnival that takes place once a year in different locations throughout the world. And the different thing about Caraval is that not anyone who wants to go and visit Caraval can go there. They have to receive an invitation, which will be sent by Legend, who's the head of Caraval, and he'll invite them to come and watch Caraval. What happens is, like a week or two before the wedding that is arranged for Scarlet, she gets this invitation from Legend in order to come and watch Caraval, and Scarlet wants to go, but her father, he's not going to let her go. What happens is, Tella and Scarlet, they decide and escape out with the help of a boatman, and all these three people go to Caraval, and many things happen there. There's a lot of gambling, there's a lot of magic, there's a lot of trick shows, freak shows, and a lot of things that are experienced throughout. And if you're a person who likes reading such whimsical stories, then you have to read the Caraval trilogy by Stephanie Garber. The next book that I'm recommending is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Now, this is the first book in the Legacy of the Orisha trilogy by Tomi Adeyemi. There are two books out now, which are Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance. I've read the first book, and I have the second book in the audio format, but I don't know when I'm going to read this. The first book was very much fun to read. It was like a 5-star book for me. in 2018 and I loved the story a lot. Now, this is an African-based fantasy, so all the characters that have been designed by Tomi Adeyemi within this world of the Orisha are black. There's not even a single white character, and the diversity that she shows within the color of skin of black people, it is so good. The writing style of Tomi Adeyemi is also very much beautiful, and it's not different in any way. The story is not so different. It just has the chosen one trope as always in fantasy, and there's also this very mild hint of romance that is present throughout the book. But there are four main characters in this book, which who are Zeli, who's the main protagonist of the story, her brother Zain, and we have this princess named Amari and the prince named Inan. What happens is in this world, the Magi are the people who have white hair and they can do magic. Due to the rule of the king who's ruling right now, he has slaughtered all the Magi, and all the Magi who lived are dead now. They have been slaughtered, and the descendants of the Magi, who are the children, are the only survivors with magic in their blood, but they are also very much oppressed and suppressed by the kingdom. What happens is Zeli has to go on this quest, as she is also a person who has magic blood in her veins. She has to go on this quest in order to bring back magic to the world. The quest is the most adventurous part of this book. The story takes place in a period of 1 to 2 months, but it is so fast paced. It is action packed. I'm sure that if you pick this book, though it is a huge one, you will be able to read it very easily and very fast because of the pacing of the book. And there's also a movie adaptation which has been planned to be released for this book. There are certain things in this book which, if made well, can be very great to watch in movies. And if you're a person who wants to try a different type of fantasy, then you have to read Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. The last book that I'm recommending today is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Now, this is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, and the main thing about this story is that it is not the story of Alice, but it is the story of the antagonist of the story, who's the Queen of Hearts. How the Queen of Hearts becomes such a cold person, how she becomes such a cruel person whom everyone detests and is very much afraid of, is very greatly reimagined and written by Marissa Meyer. Marissa Meyer has this very unique style of writing in which it is like cotton candy. You just take it in, it just melts in your mouth and you just enjoy it a lot. It is so easy to get through, and the creatures that are actually present in the original story of Alice in Wonderland are all occurring throughout in this book, and she has done a great job in reimagining the creatures and the sort of work they are doing in Wonderland. It is so good, guys. We have the Queen of Hearts as a girl named Kath, and the main aim of Kath is to open this bakery and become a huge person who can make any type of baked goods, and she has her maid who can help her in order to pursue her dreams. But despite following her dreams, she's forced to become the wife of the King of Hearts, and it is such a sad story, guys. Okay, the story is written in such a beautiful way, but the story is a sad one. That's the main thing, because we see it's the backstory of an antagonist, a villain, and it's obviously going to be cruel, because there must have been something that happened so bad in the past of the villain in order to make him or her such a flawed and bad character, and it has been very well experimented and executed by Marissa Meyer in this book. That's all for today, and if you did find this video enjoyable and interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.